NFL QBs are being replaced by their teams at a rapid rate.
If I don't do what I know I'm capable of doing, then we're all probably going to be out of here.
No one's job is truly safe. Let's break down the top 10 quarterbacks on the hot seat for 2024. Some will surprise you, some won't. Some honorable mentions did not make this list, like Aaron Rodgers because he'll probably retire, and Dak Prescott likely wants to test free agency. Tua Tagovailoa and Trevor Lawrence will probably get an extension soon. So starting with number 10, we have quarterback Derek Carr of the New Orleans Saints. I am a big-time Derek Carr fan from his time playing at Fresno State and with the Las Vegas Raiders, but Carr is now entering year 2 with the New Orleans Saints. I am reluctant to place Carr on this list because the Saints recently restructured his contract. Moving on from the QB in 2025 would cost the Saints a whopping $50 million in dead money. But it does seem like Carr is tied to head coach Dennis Allen, who made a big push to sign the quarterback prior to the 2023 season. Allen is entering year 3 and has not made the playoffs yet. If the Saints fall short this year, will they make a change at head coach, and does this mean a new QB as well? Carr battled injuries last year, suffering an AC joint sprain, and later revealed he had broken a few ribs. Plus, the Saints also had awkward drama with recently released wide receiver Michael Thomas. This involved tweets critical of Derek Carr and head coach Dennis Allen.
Just call me, bro. To say this, to say all these things, like I felt like it was like we're doing like some middle school thing, man. Just talk to me.
However, despite all these setbacks, the Saints almost won their division and reached the playoffs, and they'll likely be vying for the NFC South Division title in 2024. Carr is also not high on this list because his contract contradicts some of the hot seat rumors out there. If a new head coach came in, they will likely have Derek Carr compete with whoever they bring in 2025. The Saints general manager Loomis defended Carr against fan criticism last year.
The lazy thing to do is look at the results of a season and say, it's a coach's fault or it's the quarterback's fault.
But we still have Carr on the hot seat due to him being tied to head coach Dennis Allen, who I believe is definitely on the hot seat in 2024 if he does not make the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row. Thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video. It's summertime. I'm trying to get slim and watch my sugar intake, but it's always difficult to find good tasting options. However, Magic Spoon fits the bill. Magic Spoon cereal not only has 0 grams of sugar, but 13 to 14 grams of freaking protein and 4 to 5 grams of net carbs per serving. My personal favorite cereal is the frosted flavor. That stuff takes me back to when I was a young buck. I recently got the variety pack that comes with frosted, peanut butter, fruity, and also cocoa flavors. And I was absolutely shocked to find out that this cereal is keto friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, wheat-free, and naturally flavored. So click the link below to get the exact same variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use my promo code WIFIWILLIE at the checkout to get $5 off any order, or go to magicspoon.com/WiFiWillie. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product. If you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So scan the QR code that is on the screen and use code WiFiWillie for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/WiFiWillie to save $5 today. Number 9, Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, while not a rookie anymore, is entering his first real season by all accounts. Though the Colts drafted him 4th overall in 2023, skeptics worried about his limited playing time in college, throwing fewer than 400 passes in 2 seasons with the Florida Gators. In his rookie season with the Colts, he suffered a concussion and then a season-ending shoulder injury after week 4. He's technically still rehabbing his shoulder injury after reports resurfaced that his surgically repaired shoulder was being evaluated by trainers during Colts OTAs due to soreness. Head coach Shane Steichen and Richardson himself have both downplayed the issue. Richardson told The Athletic that there's nothing to worry about. Still, Anthony Richardson was robbed of more playing time and experience due to injuries in his rookie season. However, if he suffers another season-ending injury in year 2, that will be 2 full years with with zero production from the young quarterback. A sophomore slump could also provoke head coach Shane Steichen to look elsewhere for a quarterback in 2025, given the fact that the Colts were one game away from making the playoffs with Gardner Minshew in 2023. Number 8 on the list, Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will the headbutts eventually catch up to Baker Mayfield? In 2023, he was originally signed on a cheap prove-it deal of $4 million. Despite making the playoffs, the Buccaneers' contract extension for the quarterback did not show that they view him as a franchise QB. His 3-year deal is a glorified 1-year contract with options to move on after 2024. If the Bucs release Baker Mayfield after June 1st, it'll cost them roughly $33 million in dead money split over 2 years. And if it's a trade instead after June 1st, it'll be $22 million in dead money over 2 years. That's significantly cheaper than the Saints moving on from Derek Carr. The Panthers' new head coach, Dave Canales, was the offensive coordinator for Baker Mayfield in his breakout 2023 season. Many expect a dip in production for the Bucs and their quarterback without the standout offensive coordinator. The Buccaneers keep getting older on offense, and they narrowly made the playoffs with a 9-8 record, tying with the Saints. I could see the general manager pressing the reset button if the team regresses, and that places Baker Mayfield firmly on the hot seat. Number 7, Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. The former number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, has had it rough after 1 year. He has been mocked for his 5'10" height, with memes about him wearing shoe pumps at the combine. Young's rookie year was insane. His head coach was fired, the owner threw a drink onto a fan, and the Panthers had the worst record in the NFL at 2-15. Dave Canales, who we mentioned earlier helped Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers in 2023, is expecting to take over and save Bryce Young. But the new head coach has a 6-year contract and plenty of job security. Plus, he did not overcome leaving a life of corn addiction and binge drinking for no reason. He's going to want to act fast and turn around the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young is on the hot seat because the new regime did not draft him, and his rookie year was historically bad. Will the thick accent of new wide receiver Xavier Legette improve Bryce Young's supporting cast?
Oh no, man. I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm going to be ready.
The Panthers certainly hope so. But if things go south, expect the Panthers to bring somebody else in 2025. Number 6 on the hot seat, Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns. The Deshaun Watson trade is finally complete, and it's clear the Houston Texans absolutely fleeced the Cleveland Browns. The Texans gained 3 first-round picks plus some day 3 picks and are now being led by CJ Stroud. The Browns have not gotten that much out of Deshaun Watson. In 2 seasons, the quarterback only played 12 games due to an NFL suspension from the massage lawsuits, and a shoulder injury ended his season prematurely last year. Shockingly, head coach Kevin Stefanski's offense looked fine with a 39-year-old Joe Flacco coming off the couch as quarterback. Watson appears safe because of his $230 million record-breaking fully guaranteed contract in 2022. And quite frankly, the dead money is insane. The Browns are stuck in it for 2 more seasons after this season. But if the 28-year-old Watson continues to play like a bottom 10 QB, or if the injury bug strikes again, the Browns will likely bring in some competition for 2025 and move on from Watson after 2026. Watson has this current season and maybe next season to prove that this is not the worst trade in NFL history. Number 5, Kirk Cousins of the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins started with amazing job security as he signed a 4-year contract with the Falcons that included $100 million fully guaranteed, but everything changed as the general manager Terry Fontenot and head coach Raheem Morris shocked the world and selected quarterback Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick. What's more alarming is that Kirk Cousins and his agent were caught off guard from this pick. The general manager and head coach had nothing to say when they were pressed by reporters about this.
His agents kind of been telling us that they were shocked and dismayed and so forth. That they were informed on the clock.
Yes.
But surely Michael Penix Jr. will just sit behind Kirk Cousins and take over after a few years. What's the big deal? Well, Cousins is coming off a serious Achilles injury, which could open the door to Penix starting if he re-injures it. Via trade, the Falcons would only eat roughly $37 million in dead money if they moved on from Cousins after one season. That is also cheaper than what the Saints would have to pay if they moved on from Derek Carr. Yes, it will look bad if the Cousins move off of the quarterback, paying him about $60 million for just one season, but when you have a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. on a rookie contract, it makes it easy to absorb these costs. Kirk Cousins does have a no-trade clause in his contract, but it makes sense he would want out. He's 36 years old with the quarterback of the future, his replacement, currently on the team. A slow start or injury in 2024 definitely puts Kirk Cousins on the hot seat. Number 4, quarterback Gardner Minshew of the Las Vegas Raiders. Gardner Minshew came into the NFL as a presumptive career backup quarterback. He's only came in as the starter for 2 seasons and was benched during one of them. However, last year he was able to make the Pro Bowl and almost led the Colts to the playoffs, filling in for an injured Anthony Richardson. The Las Vegas Raiders decided to take a chance on him during the 2024 free agency cycle, and they ended up paying him much more than a backup quarterback, $15 million fully guaranteed. He is currently in a quarterback battle with Raiders former 4th round pick Aiden O'Connell, who is entering his 2nd season in the NFL. Gardner Minshew is getting the opportunity of a lifetime for a career backup. All he has to do is beat out Aiden O'Connell during training camp, and he will be the starter for the Raiders this year. But if he struggles at any point during the season, fans will be demanding that Aiden O'Connell replace him mid-season. Minshew has low expectations, but his seat is hotter than most because he currently has Aiden O'Connell in-house threatening for his starting job, plus head coach Antonio Pierce has been very complimentary towards Aiden O'Connell. Career-wise, at age 28, if Minshew fails to beat out Aiden O'Connell for the starting job, this will be his last opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. The career implications make this seat especially hot. Number 3, quarterback Russell Wilson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson is also in a competition this offseason, though with a more experienced starter in Justin Fields. Many believe Wilson has his best years behind him and that the failed Denver Broncos experiment was more his fault than Nathaniel Hackett's or Sean Payton's. This is the year that Russell Wilson can prove them wrong. His cheap 1-year contract with the Steelers, which leaves the Broncos paying the rest of the tab, makes him expendable compared to most QBs. The 35-year-old Russell Wilson claims he wants to play until he wins 2 more Super Bowls.
In the next 5 years, I want to win 2. I want to feel the chill of that trophy again.
Which means he's not retiring anytime soon. The Steelers general manager recently said that they were surprised to land Justin Fields via trade from the Bears after signing Russell Wilson. This gives them some good competition if Wilson shows some signs of regression during the season. The cards are stacked against Russell Wilson. It seems unlikely he could perform well enough this year to earn a contract extension for 2025 with the Steelers, unless he decides to take a pay cut. A pay cut could be possible since he has already made so much money from that massive contract extension from the Broncos in 2022. Unfortunately, his age coupled with the lack of investment from the Steelers place him firmly on the hot seat, likely hitting free agency in 2025. Number 2, Geno Smith of the Seattle Seahawks. After Russell Wilson departed from Seattle, Geno Smith made the words "right back" famous.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though. That's the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
He led the Seahawks to the playoffs and became the comeback player of the year for 2022. But the coach who believed in Geno, Pete Carroll, is no longer there. New head coach Mike Macdonald is taking over with a hefty 6-year contract. Geno Smith battled injuries and regressed in 2023, throwing 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, plus missing the playoffs. After the 2024 season, he will have 1 year left on his 3-year contract. And the new regime could decide to move on from the 33-year-old QB, even if he does well, to save cap space. Smith is in a difficult position because the Seahawks roster is lacking talent on defense and offensive line. The NFC West is also stacked with the 49ers and Rams ruining any chance of Seattle making the playoffs. Unfortunately for Geno, making the postseason may be the only way he survives as the Seahawks quarterback in 2025. 2025. The seat is hot. The "I did not write back" slogan is not aging well. And now, the #1 quarterback on the hot seat is Daniel Jones of the New York Giants. The New York Giants made the playoffs in 2022 and signed Daniel Jones to a 4-year contract extension, but that looked to be a massive mistake as they collapsed to just a 6-win team the following season. The Giants were 2-7 before Daniel Jones tore his ACL in November of 2023. It was obvious the quarterback was struggling. Throughout the season, head coach Brian Daboll can be seen screaming at refs, coaches, and players, including Daniel Jones. The second-year head coach knows he's on the hot seat, which is likely why he has taken over as play caller, because he knows that this year, for 2024, the Giants are going all in on Daniel Jones with quarterback Drew Lock as an insurance plan. The brief hype of the Italian sensation Tommy DeVito ended quickly as he was benched mid-game towards the end of last season. Daniel Jones is in the worst position possible, and it's almost inevitable that he will be released or traded in 2025. It's risky to play him too much this year because if he gets hurt, injury guarantees protect him from being released in 2025. Drew Lock is a serious insurance policy that we could see starting towards the end of the season. But you never know, maybe new wide receiver Malik Neighbors can save Daniel Jones, or in his words, Janiel Dones.
I actually did talk to Janiel Dones. He was just like, you know, I'm happy that you're here.
Last year, the Giants were hoping that Darren Waller could come in and help the young quarterback, but he looks set to retire and instead pursue a rap career. Head coach Brian Daboll is on the hot seat along with his quarterback Daniel Jones. It would not be surprising to see both of them gone before the 2025 season, barring a miracle deep playoff run that we all know just isn't going to happen. These quarterback seat can get colder or hotter throughout the 2024 season. Let me know in the comments below your top 10 QBs on the hot seat this year. My name is WiFi Willie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.